Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving into the world of laptops, specifically the top laptops of 2024.
Yeah, everyone's always asking, what's the best laptop to get? Well, we're going to try to answer that today, at least for 2024.
Right. I feel like every year there's a new batch of incredible laptops hitting the market. It can be super overwhelming to try to figure out which one is the perfect fit.
Totally. But don't worry, we've done the research, we've combed through reviews, and we've got a lineup of 7 laptops that are really turning heads.
Okay, so let's kick things off with a laptop that's been generating a ton of buzz. The Apple 2024 MacBook Air with that brand new M3 chip.
Oh, the M3, that's the one everyone's talking about.
Yeah, users are calling it a powerhouse, raving about how there's like no lag even when they're running a bunch of demanding apps at the same time.
It's pretty amazing what they've done with the M3. They're using this new 3-nanometer process, which basically means they've crammed even more transistors onto the chip.
Okay, so more transistors equals more power.
Exactly. And it's not just about raw power. The M3 is incredibly efficient, too. It sips battery like nobody's business.
I've seen users claiming they're getting like crazy battery life. Some are even saying they've hit almost 48 hours on a single charge.
Whoa, 48 hours. Okay, that might be pushing it a bit. I mean, real-world usage is always going to be different.
Right. But still, even if it's, half that, it's still pretty impressive.
Oh, absolutely. The battery life on the new MacBook Air is definitely one of its standout features.
Now, we also have the M2 MacBook Air on our list.
Yeah.
Is that still worth considering now that the M3 is out?
The M2 is still a fantastic chip. It can handle pretty much anything you throw at it. And honestly, with the release of the M3, you might be able to snag some pretty sweet deals on the M2 models.
So if you're maybe a little more budget conscious, the M2 MacBook Air could be a great option.
For sure. It's all about finding that sweet spot between performance and price, right?
Absolutely. And speaking of budget-friendly options, let's talk about the Acer Aspire 3. Reviewers are calling this thing the best laptop deal you can get.
Oh yeah, the Aspire 3 is a real value champion.
Some users are even going the extra mile and upgrading the RAM and storage themselves.
See, that's one of the things I love about the Aspire 3. It's upgradability. A lot of laptops these days, especially the thin and light ones, come with the RAM and storage soldered onto the motherboard.
So you can't upgrade them.
Nope. But with the Aspire 3, you can pop it open, swap out components. It's great for people who are on a budget because you can buy a more affordable configuration and then upgrade it later on as needed.
That's like future-proofing your laptop, in a way.
Exactly. You're not locked into the specs you buy on day one.
And I've seen users raving about the screen on the Aspire 3. Some are even comparing it to gaming monitors. Pretty high praise for a budget laptop.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Acer didn't skimp on the display. They went with an IPS panel, which has great color accuracy.
So you're getting like vibrant colors, whether you're editing photos or just browsing the web.
Exactly. It's a really enjoyable viewing experience.
Another thing that stands out in the reviews is how people keep talking about the build quality of the Aspire 3.
Oh, yeah. What are they saying?
They're using words like bomber to describe it.
Bomber. That's interesting. I guess it means they feel like it can take a beating.
Right, like it's sturdy, well-constructed.
Probably a good sign if you're someone who's always on the go, tossing their laptop in a bag.
Absolutely. Okay, this next laptop is interesting. It's the Acer Aspire Go 15. And one user described it as a fast PC that feels like a Chromebook, but with the flexibility of Windows.
Ooh, that's an intriguing comparison. Chromebooks and Windows laptops, they're kind of like different beasts, right?
Yeah. So what are the key differences between the two?
Well, Chromebooks are all about simplicity and cloud integration. They run Chrome OS, which is Google's operating system.
So it's really designed for like web-based stuff.
Exactly. Browsing, email, working on documents, streaming content. Chromebooks are fantastic for all of that. They're super fast, secure, easy to use. But if you need specialized software like video editing or graphic design programs, then a Chromebook might not be the best fit.
So Chrome OS is all about streamlining, while Windows is more about like flexibility.
You got it. Now, what's interesting about this Aspire Go 15 is that it runs Windows 11, but in what they call S mode.
S mode. What's that all about?
It's basically a more restricted version of Windows. It prioritizes security and performance by limiting you to apps from the Microsoft Store.
So it's kind of like Apple's approach with their App Store.
Exactly. You're getting a curated experience, but it also means you might not have access to every single app you're used to.
Interesting. So it's sort of like a hybrid between a Chromebook and a traditional Windows laptop?
You could say that. It's a way to get some of the simplicity and security of a Chromebook, but with the option to switch out of S mode if you need to.
Right, so you're not completely locked in.
Exactly. It's all about choices.
Yeah.
Right?
Speaking of choices, I noticed some users mentioned experiencing lag on the Aspire Go 15, particularly during the initial setup. Any idea what could be causing that?
Lag during setup is usually caused by a bunch of background processes going on at the same time. Updates, syncing, indexing files. It can be a lot for a laptop to handle.
Especially if it doesn't have a ton of RAM.
Right. And the Aspire Go 15 comes with 8 GB of RAM, which is decent, but it might not be enough to handle that initial onslaught of activity.
So it's not necessarily a sign of a bad laptop, just maybe a bit of a bottleneck during setup.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. There are things you can do to minimize the lag, like closing unnecessary programs or making sure you had a good internet connection during setup.
Good tips.
Okay.
Moving right along, we have the HP Newest 14. It's getting a lot of praise for its design and portability.
Oh yeah, the HP Newest 14. It's a sleek little machine.
One reviewer mentioned it being suitable for both students and business professionals. What do you think makes a laptop versatile enough to cater to such different needs?
It's about finding that sweet spot. Students need portability, long battery life, and a comfortable keyboard for taking notes. Business professionals might prioritize a professional look, robust security features.
Right, like a fingerprint reader.
Exactly. And it sounds like the HP Newest 14 manages to tick a lot of those boxes.
One user even claimed they got 2 days of using without charging. That sounds almost too good to be true.
Yeah, you got to take those battery life claims with a grain of salt. They're usually based on ideal conditions, low screen brightness, Wi-Fi off, minimal activity.
But in the real world, it's more like, streaming videos, video calls, multitasking.
Exactly. So while 2 days might be possible, it's probably not the norm.
One thing that caught my eye is that this HP model uses a slightly older processor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, is that something that people should be concerned about?
It depends. If you're mostly browsing the web, working on documents, things like that, an older processor probably won't be a big deal. But if you're doing more demanding stuff, video editing, gaming, then you'll probably want something more up to date.
Okay, so it's all about knowing your needs and matching them to the right specs.
Exactly. There's no point in paying for power you're not going to use, right?
Now let's talk Chromebooks. We've got the Lenovo newest flagship Chromebook on our list.
Chromebooks are having a moment, aren't they?
They really are. One user said Chromebooks are awesome if you just need the internet, which, let's be honest, is a lot of us these days. What are the big advantages of Chrome OS for someone who's always online?
Well, Chrome OS is all about speed, simplicity, and security. They boot up super fast, updates happen automatically in the background, you don't have to worry about antivirus software.
So it's really designed for a streamlined, hassle-free experience.
Exactly. And because everything is synced to your Google account, you can seamlessly access your files, emails, settings from any device.
And user reviews are highlighting like how easy it is to set up, connect to printers, and just how smooth the performance is for browsing, shopping, watching videos.
Those are all the things that Chrome OS excels at. It's just so user-friendly. Even if you're not super tech-savvy, you can easily pick up a Chromebook and start using it right away.
But of course, there are some limitations, right? What are the downsides compared to a Windows laptop?
Well, the biggest limitation is that Chrome OS relies heavily on an internet connection. You can do some things offline, but the core functionality really depends on being online. So if you're often without internet access, then a Chromebook might not be the best choice. And, Chrome OS doesn't support traditional desktop software like Photoshop or Microsoft Office.
Ah, so you're limited to web-based apps.
Pretty much. Which, for a lot of people, is totally fine. But if you need those specific programs, then it might be a deal breaker.
Right. It's all about knowing your workflow and what you need to accomplish. Now, I did see some users mentioning that this Lenovo Chromebook can feel a bit slow, especially when handling videos or doing a lot of multitasking. What could be causing that?
It could be a couple things. Some Chromebooks, especially the more budget-friendly ones, have limited RAM and processing power. If you like having a zillion tabs open or you're running demanding web apps, you might hit some performance snags.
So it's always a good idea to check the specs before you buy.
Yeah, make sure it's got enough oomph to handle what you're going to throw at it.
Okay, now for the grand finale. Let's shift gears and talk about the Asus ROG Strix G16. This is the gaming powerhouse on our list.
Yes, the ROG Strix G16. This one's for the serious gamers.
packed with high-end specs, all the bells and whistles for a truly immersive gaming experience.
It's got a powerful processor, a dedicated graphics card, a high refresh rate display. They really went all out on this one.
So for someone who's really passionate about gaming, this is the laptop to get.
Absolutely. If you want the best possible gaming experience on a laptop, the ROG Strix G16 is a top contender. But keep in mind, all that power comes at a price.
Gaming laptops tend to be significantly more expensive.
Yeah, they're definitely an investment.
Well, this has been quite a journey. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have. From sleek ultrabooks to budget-friendly options, a Chromebook, and a gaming beast, it's clear there's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to laptops.
Right. It's all about figuring out your individual needs, budget, and priorities.
And honestly, that's what makes this whole process so fascinating.
Absolutely. It's about finding that perfect match, the laptop that's going to empower you to do what you love.
Whether that's creating, working, learning, or just, exploring the digital world.
Well said. Now, I know we've thrown a lot of information at our listeners today.
It's a lot to digest.
It is. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to leave everyone with a final thought. We've talked about all these amazing laptops, machines that are pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah, it's incredible how far laptop technology has come.
It really is. But at the end of the day, a laptop is more than just a collection of specs and features. It's a tool that can empower us to connect, create, learn, explore.
It's an extension of ourselves, a window to a world of possibilities.
And that's what I want our listeners to remember as they continue their search for the perfect laptop.
It's not just about finding the best specs or the lowest price.
It's about finding the laptop that aligns with your vision, with how you want to interact with the digital world.
The laptop that speaks to you, that sparks your creativity.
Exactly. So, before we move on to the next part of our deep dive, take a moment to really think about what you want from a laptop.
What are your must-have features? What are your deal breakers?
And most importantly, what do you want to achieve with this laptop? What are your goals, your dreams, your aspirations?
Once you have a clear vision of what you're looking for, the search becomes much easier.
You'll be able to cut through the noise, filter out the distractions,
and find the laptop that's going to help you bring those goals to life.
Okay, so let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll dive even deeper into the world of laptops, exploring some of the trends shaping the future of these incredible devices.
We'll talk about AI integration, foldable displays, the evolution of battery technology.
And of course, we'll answer the age-old question, will tablets eventually replace laptops altogether?
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. It's a question that's been on my mind too. With all these incredible laptops we've seen, what's next? What do you think are going to be like the defining features of laptops 5 years from now?
Ooh, that's a good one. It's hard to predict the future, right? Technology moves so fast, but if I had to guess, I think AI integration is going to be huge.
AI, yeah, I can definitely see that. We're already seeing AI-powered features like noise cancellation and smart assistants, but I think it's going to go way beyond that.
Right. Like, imagine a laptop that learns your work habits and adjusts its settings accordingly, or a video editing software that automatically edits your footage based on your preferences.
Whoa, that's some next-level stuff.
I'm also curious about battery tech. I mean, who wouldn't want a laptop that lasts a week on a single charge?
Oh man, a week. That would be a dream come true. I think we'll see some big advancements in battery density and power management, but the real game changer could be solid-state batteries.
Solid-state batteries, I've heard whispers about those.
Yeah, they're still kind of in the early stages, but they promise much higher energy density and faster charging times.
Okay, so longer battery life and quicker charging. That's a win-win.
Exactly. What about displays? Do you think we'll see anything beyond the high-res screens we have now?
I think foldable displays are going to become more mainstream. We're already seeing them in phones and tablets.
Right, and a foldable laptop, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, imagine a laptop that can transform into a tablet, or even a smaller, more portable device.
The possibilities are endless. It makes you wonder, though, what about tablets? Will they eventually replace laptops altogether?
That's a good question. Tablets have come a long way, but I still think there's a place for me. Love laptops offer that full keyboard experience and a more robust operating system.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably more about convergence. Laptops getting thinner and later tablets gaining more laptop-like features.
So maybe it's not about replacement, but evolution.
Exactly. Both devices will continue to evolve, blurring the lines between the two. And ultimately, it comes down to personal preference and what you need the device for.
Right. The right tool for the right job. Okay, so let's circle back to the laptops we discussed today. We've got a pretty diverse lineup.
We do. From Apple's latest and greatest to budget-friendly Acer models, a Chromebook, and even a gaming powerhouse.
It's a good reminder that there's no single best laptop out there.
Nope. The best laptop for you depends on your individual needs, budget, and preferences.
So to our listeners out there, do your research. Read reviews, compare specs, maybe even visit a store and try out a few models before you buy.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Talk to people who know about laptops. There are tons of resources available online and in communities.
Excellent advice. Yeah. Now, before we wrap up, I'd love to get your take on something. We've been talking about these laptops, and I've been thinking about how much weight we give to user reviews.
User reviews. Oh, yeah, they're everywhere these days.
It seems like everyone checks reviews before they buy anything.
For sure. And for good reason, reviews can give you valuable insights into a product's real-world performance, things you might not get from marketing materials.
Right. Like, how does the battery actually hold up? How's the keyboard for typing? What's the trackpad like? Those are things you really only learn from people who've actually used the laptop.
Exactly. But I'm also curious about the potential downsides of relying too heavily on reviews. What do you think? Are there any pitfalls to watch out for?
That's an interesting question. I think it's important to remember that everyone has different needs and expectations. What's a deal breaker for one person might be a non-issue for someone else.
Right. So you have to take reviews with a grain of salt?
Exactly. And you also have to be aware of potential bias. Some reviews might be influenced by personal preferences, brand loyalty, or even, incentives or promotions.
So how can our listeners navigate this world of user reviews and make informed decisions without getting swayed by potentially biased opinions?
That's a great question. What tips would you give them?
Well, first, read a variety of reviews. Don't just rely on a single review or a single website.
So diversify your sources.
Exactly. Look for reviews from reputable tech publications as well as user reviews on platforms like Amazon, Best Buy, Reddit.
Get a well-rounded perspective.
Yep. Second, pay attention to the specific features that are important to you. If battery life is a top priority, focus on reviews that talk about battery performance.
Don't get distracted by a glowing review about the display if the battery life is terrible.
Right. Third, look for reviews that provide detailed insights and real-world examples. A review that just says, "Great laptop," isn't that helpful?
It's like, okay, but why is it great? Tell me more.
Exactly. Look for reviews that explain why the laptop is great and give specific examples of how it performs in different scenarios.
So really dig into the details.
Yep. And finally, remember that user reviews are just one piece of the puzzle. Do your own research, compare specs, and consider your own individual needs and budget.
Okay, so user reviews can be helpful, but use them wisely.
Absolutely. Think critically and use them in conjunction with other sources of information.
Solid advice. Now, as we move towards the end of our deep dive into the top laptops of 2024, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought. We've talked about a lot of amazing machines today, laptops that are pushing the boundaries of performance design portability. But at the end of the day, a laptop is more than just a collection of specs and features.
It's a tool that allows us to do so much.
Exactly. It's a tool that can empower us to connect, create, learn, and explore.
It's a gateway to a world of possibilities.
And that's what I want our listeners to take away from this deep dive. It's not about finding the best laptop on some arbitrary list.
It's about finding the laptop that best fits your individual needs, your workflow, your creative process.
Your vision for how you want to interact with the digital world.
The laptop that speaks to you, that fuels your passions and helps you achieve your goals.
So go out there, explore your options, and find the laptop that's right for you.
Because the most important feature of any laptop is the person using it.
You said it. Now, before we sign off, let's do a quick recap of the fantastic laptops we explored today. We started with the Apple 2024 MacBook Air 13-inch laptop with that groundbreaking M3 chip. Then we moved on to the budget-friendly champion, the Acer Aspire 3, A315 24P R7VH slim laptop, proving you don't need to break the bank for performance and style.
We also revisited the still impressive Apple 2022 MacBook Air laptop with the M2 chip, a testament to Apple's sleek design and powerful performance. And we checked out the versatile HP newest 14 ultralight laptop, a great all-arounder for students and business pros.
Then we ventured into the world of cloud computing with the Lenovo newest flagship Chromebook, a 14-inch marvel that redefines simplicity and security. And of course, we couldn't forget the gaming beast, the Asus ROG Strix G16 2024 gaming laptop, pushing the limits of mobile gaming.
And for those who want the speed of a Chromebook with the flexibility of Windows, we highlighted the Acer Aspire Go 15 Slim laptop with its stunning 15.6-inch Full HD IPS 1080p display.
So there you have it, 7 incredible laptops, each with its own unique strengths and appeal. We packed this episode with insights, tips, and real-world perspectives to help you navigate the world of laptops.
We encourage you to dive deeper into any of the laptops that caught your eye. We've included links to all the products in the show notes where you can find specs reviews and even the best places to buy.
And as always, a huge thank you to you, our amazing listeners, for joining us on this deep dive. We're passionate about exploring the world of technology and sharing our discoveries with you.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to The Deep Dive and leave us a review. We'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions for future topics.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those curiosity fires burning.
It really is. It's a tool that allows us to do so much.
Exactly. It's a tool that can empower us to connect, create, learn, and explore.
It's a gateway to a world of possibilities.
And that's what I want our listeners to take away from this deep dive. It's not about finding the best laptop on some arbitrary list.
It's about finding the laptop that best fits your individual needs, your workflow, your creative process.
Your vision for how you want to interact with the digital world.
The laptop that speaks to you, that fuels your passions and helps you achieve your goals.
So go out there, explore your options, and find the laptop that's right for you.
Because the most important feature of any laptop is the person using it.
You said it. Now, before we sign off, let's do a quick recap of the fantastic laptops we explored today. We started with the Apple 2024 MacBook Air 13-inch laptop with that groundbreaking M3 chip. Then we moved on to the budget-friendly champion, the Acer Aspire 3 A315 24PR7VH slim laptop, proving you don't need to break the bank for performance and style.
We also revisited the still impressive Apple 2022 MacBook Air laptop with the M2 chip, a testament to Apple's sleek design and powerful performance. And we checked out the versatile HP newest 14 ultralight laptop, a great all-arounder for students and business pros.
Then we ventured into the world of cloud computing with the Lenovo newest flagship Chromebook, a 14-inch marvel that redefines simplicity and security. And of course, we couldn't forget the gaming beast, the Asus ROG Strix G16 2024 gaming laptop, pushing the limits of mobile gaming.
And for those who want the speed of a Chromebook with the flexibility of Windows, we highlighted the Acer Aspire Go 15 slim laptop with its stunning 15.6-inch Full HD IPS 1080p display.
So there you have it, 7 incredible laptops, each with its own unique strengths and appeal. We packed this episode with insights, tips, and real-world perspectives to help you navigate the world of laptops.
We encourage you to dive deeper into any of the laptops that caught your eye. We've included links to all the products in the show notes, where you can find specs, reviews, and even the best places to buy.
And as always, a huge thank you to you, our amazing listeners, for joining us on this deep dive. We're passionate about exploring the world of technology and sharing our discoveries with you.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to The Deep Dive and leave us a review. We'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions for future topics.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those curiosity fires burning.